I think that it won't, if a woman wants to have a child, but she's not in a relationship with, stable relationship with a man, I think that if you look at the child and how it will be for them, it would be harder to not have a dad around. To bring up a child, I believe you need a man and a woman, ideally. Although there are some women who can do it, who do bring up great children, like I've been brought up by just my mum. If you ask the child when they're growing up what would they prefer, if the dad is a good person, they would prefer to have a dad. So it's not that I disapprove. Well, yeah, I would say I disapprove because it's not the best thing that a child could have in terms of upbringing. Definitely not. I think that you need to develop and be stable as yourself first and then consider a relationship. My inspiration from that comes from actually Adam and Eve. If you look in Genesis, when Adam was alone, God was like, it's not good for a man to be alone. But if you read before that, God was like to Adam, like he had been tending the Garden of Eden and then he got a wife. It wasn't that as soon as Adam was made, he just had a wife. But it was after he'd been busy, he'd been active, he'd been working and stuff. So I think it's better for your relationship to be a stable person, you know, wholesome and everything, than to pursue something like a relationship. I say no simply because I don't think it's good for the child. Again, if you ask a kid, I'm talking about from my personal experience, would you prefer to just have one or the other? Your answer will always be both. If both your parents are good people, you would never say, I wish I just had a mum or I wish I just had a dad. And obviously with same-sex couples, that's what you're saying. Although you can say, yes, someone's going to play the role of mum and dad, it's about gender. When you're a kid, you can say it's about gender, but also you sort of know that, okay, this is a man, this is a woman. You don't know about gender, you're just a kid. So again, it might be good for those couples to have that experience, but if you think about the child, who matters most, in my opinion, it's not good for a child to have same-sex parents. They need to have a rounded experience of having a mum and a dad. I would say that it's not okay for two people to live together without getting married, simply because I believe if you're going to be with someone, you should be with them completely. And yeah, you should marry them before you have intimacy with them. Simply because I'm a female and I personally wouldn't like to be intimate with someone who I know could just leave me anytime. I know it's the same with marriage, but I'm sure in marriage it takes a lot more to walk out of a relationship than, say, if you're just living with someone. So no, I don't think it's okay to live with someone, yeah, because you're likely to be intimate, and I don't believe in intimacy before marriage. I question whether a working mother can establish as secure relationship with her children as a non-working mother. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think it's incredibly difficult for the woman. I think she can do it because women are strong, they have strong characters, you know, sometimes they just do what they have to do, but I think it's not easy for her. And I think that the children find it difficult as well. I'm talking from my own experience. They know their mother is busy, and the best times in my life were when my mum wasn't working, when she could teach us like how to cook, she could take us out to the museum and stuff. When she was working, it was literally I'm 9 to 5 at work and she just cooks for us. There wasn't much time for recreational or, if you like, extracurricular activity. So of course we knew mum loved us, but the love we felt was that I'm working for you. But sometimes when you're a kid, you need more than, okay, I'm providing for you. You need, you know, I have time for you as well. So it's possible, it's difficult for the woman, it's difficult for the kids. I don't know if the word is suffer, but I would say missing out. Like I said, the best times in my life that I can remember as a kid was when my mum wasn't working and she could show us and do just lovely things with us. Like I remember once we made like an apple pie, you know, that was like on a Saturday or maybe on a weekday, I don't know, but it's like when she started working after my dad left, even though she wanted to do those things, there was literally no time. So you miss out, I would say, on what could have been. Well, it's complex. I think that when people despise the job of working at home, it's kind of like a male thing. Like it's like, although feminists say women need to get out into work, it's not fair that they're supposed to be at home. I think that is a macho judgment of what it means to be at home. I think people despise what it means to be at home. And so they think that women being liberated is getting out into the workplace. Well, why can't it be that, women being liberated is choosing if they want to be at home or in the workplace? Why is it that going to the home is like despised? I don't think that I think a job is good, but I don't think most women just want to stay at home. But I don't think that they should despise being at home or vice versa. I think you should just be a whole person and decide what you want to do. And I think actually a bit of both is best. Perhaps, yeah, but I wonder how many women in Britain today are just housewives. So I think being a housewife is fulfilling, can be fulfilling. I think working is fulfilling, can be fulfilling. But when children come into the picture, you might feel that you're not doing the job too well if you're working as well. So in a way, it can become dissatisfying. So if I had to choose between one or the other, I would say probably being a housewife. If you're just doing that, you might feel I'm doing this very well, so you might feel more fulfilled. If you're just working, you might feel I'm doing this very well and feel fulfilled. So it depends on if you have children, really, I would say. As a woman, I don't think it's the best way to be an independent person. I think the best way to be an independent person is to be an independent person. And that is not equal to having a job. Because there are many men who have jobs, but they can't cook, they can't clean, they're hopeless. They have to pay for all the services, that are available that you should be able to do yourself. So I think you just need to know how to do what is necessary for you to live. Then you're an independent person. It can't be that if your husband leaves you and you're over, or if your job is axed, you're over. You just need to be able to live, and then I think you're an independent person. Yeah, ideally. I mean, most people don't want to sit at home. Most women just, being housewives these days. If they can, go for it. But, if you have children, like I was saying before, I would understand if only the woman or only the man was contributing to household income. I would say yes. Again, I'm talking from personal experience. I can't generalise, but I remember before my parents split up formally, we spent time with my dad, and it was lovely. I didn't see a difference. I think if you love the child, you can bring them up. It doesn't necessarily, I don't think one is better than the other, but I think it could be that, the way society is, it's easier for a man to be the breadwinner at the moment. That's why it might look like he should work and the mother should stay at home. But I think both of them can do the job. It depends on who the breadwinner is, and if there are two breadwinners, then it should be equal. If there's one breadwinner, then I think the breadwinner should have relaxed responsibilities. Talking from experience, when you have a 9 to 5 and you're expected to do other things when you get home, it's a bit tiring. And I just think whoever's earning the money and work has the most demanding job, they should have relaxed responsibilities, and whoever has more time should have more responsibilities. So if that's the man, which usually it is, then yes, he should have relaxed responsibilities. If it's the woman, then she should have relaxed responsibilities. But I know it never happens that way. But what I think is totally wrong is when the woman is a breadwinner as well as the man, and she does everything else as well, because it's like she has two jobs. I don't think that's fair. I think if you're in a relationship with someone and you're both working, you should both share the responsibility. I decided that one of the most important things that someone should get from the home is their religious faith. I come from a Christian home, and it wasn't imposed on me, but my parents just kind of gave me a background as to what they believe and why. And when I became about 10 or 11, I could choose what I wanted to do. I didn't have to go to church with them. I stopped going. But just having that tradition and that background, I think it helped me to know when it came to the future, okay, what do I already know? What else is out there? What can I decide? I wasn't just ignorant of anything. I had some kind of religious understanding. Because, I think we need God in our lives, and that really helped me as a kid to pray and stuff. I would say good manners. That might seem a bit random, but I think when you have good manners, you can get along with lots of people, and that's a key to life, like having good relationships. So it's a start, if you don't have good manners, many people will not really want to relate with you. So I'm grateful to my parents for teaching me good manners. Feeling of responsibility, just knowing that you should tidy up after yourself, and that, you should care about the environment, you should care about your friends and, people who are in need. Like, I think that's a good thing to be taught. So you're not selfish. Thrift, saving money and things. Because when you go to live by yourself, like I'm at uni living in halls and stuff, if I didn't have this teaching, which my mum taught me, like, don't go to McDonald's, make your food, every week, don't eat out unless you're going to a restaurant, like, don't waste money. Don't spend all your student loan on Topshop and stuff. Like, because she taught me that, it's helping me not, break the bank and stuff. So I think that's really important when you're living by yourself, independently. And then the last thing, it's a bit difficult to choose, but probably I'd say imagination, because you need to have a career or something you're working towards, to survive and stuff. And I suppose that involves thinking lively or creatively about who you are and what you can do, what your calling is in life. So I think my parents really taught me to think about that and to think about life and what I want to do and how I want to be in society. So yeah, I would say imagination.